Welcome to Tiafo Garage, where we try it and find out. On this channel, we feature DIY on some classic cars. We also chronicle the classic car ownership experience here in the San Francisco Bay Area in California.
Tiafo Garage.
On today's video, we will be changing the oil on my 1972 Porsche 911S, which is the 1 year that has the oil tank not in the back by the engine, but it's in front of the right rear tire. If you enjoy this type of content, please do like, share, and subscribe. That will help the channel. We are now going to do an oil change in the Porsche. It's a 72, so the oil tank is in front of the rear wheel here. I've never done this. It looks like the oil's gonna want to drip everywhere. I've got this, which I plan to place here, and then I have this thing, which is a formable piece of plastic, and then I have this, which is the bucket that the Dino oil came out of. So the idea is to lower the car to where this is like reasonably going into that bucket, and when I loosen that 19mm bolt, the oil will flow from there to here without making a huge mess. So wish me luck. Here goes. This would be amazing if this doesn't make a massive mess. What happened there? What happened was the nut fell out and fell into my funnel, blocked the hole in the funnel, and it overflowed and backflowed. So then I captured as much as I could. It did make a massive mess. I got this other tray under there. Less oil came out than I thought would have, so I probably would have been okay with this, just this in hindsight, but oh well. So now I gotta clean it up, put the new crush washer on, and put that nut back in, or bolt, drain plug, and then go do the one under the engine. And we will go from there. We got it cleaned up and the plug back in. Now it's on to the oil filter, which is over here. I'm not sure how people do this without making a mess, but I guess I'll just put a rag under there, or a paper towel or something. I got my replacement filter here. Here's a little tip: you can write the date on the back of your filter and the miles. Mine has 58,174, I think. And then also I pre-oiled the O-ring in anticipation of wanting to put it on fast after I take that one off, because I think it's going to make a bit of a mess. Hopefully this is the last go of in here. God. So much for hand tight. Okay. Like that's where it's sort of supposed to start, more or less. Ridiculous. Okay, let me get the other one ready. I'm gonna scoop this up. No mess. Okay, and tight. That's it. The O-ring will do its job. Whew. That was harder than it should have been. Alright, and the last drain step is to drain the engine oil. Similarly, I will empty it into a bucket, a little more better access this time. This is where I got my Q-tips from our nice clean bathroom, and you can see the evidence from last time. So I'm going to try to pluck those two out and not make more mess. Success. Cleaned out the plug, the magnetic part, and then a clean, fresh crush washer. Back it goes. I'm not sure. Well, you can tell that some of that oil kind of got, it's right there where the tire hits, so I'm going to have to be careful with that tire for a bit. You to confirm it has limited slip differential, which it does, supposedly. Never tested that. I've heard that you can test it by lifting up the whole rear end and spinning one wheel, and if the other spins in the same direction, then it's confirmed. But that'll be a project for another day, and I am going to go put the Dino under here and finish up smoking a chicken for dinner. By the way, the real reason I got that round oil thing was so that I could pour the oil from that bucket into these gallons so that I can recycle them. California's nice that way. You can just put them in the street next to your other recycled stuff and they'll pick it up and give you empty canisters, which I need because between the two cars is more oil than 2 gallons. We are ready to put oil into the oil tank here. I've taken off the cap and I'm also going to take out the little oil level sensor. Online it said put about 8 quarts to start and then check how things look and go from there. I'm sure folks will want to know what kind of oil, so I use this 20W50 Valvoline racing oil with high zinc. It's what it used to be used in my Dino when I got it, and then when I looked it up, it turns out it's the same spec for the Porsche, so that makes it easy. So this is what I use. So 8 quarts filled it like to the top of the dipstick cold with no engine running. What it said next is just drive it, warm it up, get it to idle, and then check the level and add more. So we'll see. All right, so I've got it idling here and I will check the level here. One thing I just have to express my frustration. With all of my adjustments, this thing still pops up. So I gotta figure out how to make that stick better. Every time I go on the freeway or hit a bump, it pops up. I see why the previous owner put the fiberglass with the tie downs. Hopefully I won't have to go that route, but it's bugging me. So, not sure how this is supposed to work. It's good. The oil's like flowing through the filter, but there's no way I can check the level with it all burbling around like that. So maybe on the 72 you don't even have to. Anyway, I'm gonna turn it off and check the level. All right, so we are at 1/5 between the low and the high. Let me check online and see whether it's supposed to be while it's hot, at idle, not at idle. At idle's definitely wrong because the oil is flowing all over the place there. So maybe I'll add a little bit to make it about halfway here, and we'll call it. All right, online it said it's normal and common for that oil to be splashing out of there. So, and if you just shut it off and measure it quickly like I did, that's a reasonable method. I do look forward to getting that float in there though, so I'll have a better idea at idle. I'll put in a little bit more and that will be that. Related to the oil change level, I did add a little bit more since the last video. And then I brought it in here to the garage. I put it in idle. And I was able to measure the level at idle, even though it was splashing a little because of the little tube. There's the dipstick, and then that dipstick goes into a little tube. Yeah, you can barely see it. There's a tube that protects it from the splashing. At idle, it's 3/4 between the lines, just about perfect. Hot. And just as an experiment, I turned it off and checked quickly with it not running, and it rose actually 45 seconds after I turned it off. It was at the top line. Just a data point. So it actually, when it's idling, when it's hot, is slightly lower than when it's not idling, which makes sense. The pump is running, the fluid's moving around. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoy this type of content, please do like, share, and subscribe. It will help the channel, and we will see you next time on Tiafo Garage.